This is the ELTE111 spreadsheet demonstration. So what we're looking at is the D2L website. There's a spreadsheet in-class worksheet that you can download and take a look at. That is what we're going to be working on. So similar to the Microsoft Word, there's a variety of different ways that you can launch this. I have it on my start down here, my quick start, and so we're going to go that way, and we're just going to start a blank workbook here. So it says enter your name in cell A1. So here is A and here is 1, so that is my name. I'm going to put my name right there. And it says change the font to 18. So I'm going to come up here and change the font to 18. I guess if I wanted to make that Sean Hickman, I could come up here and I could do Hickman like that. And change the font to 18. Type MSL Excel worksheet in A2, which would be right here. And it would be MS Excel in class worksheet. Center this heading across 6 cells. So I'm going to take this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to highlight those like that. And then I'm going to merge and center it right there. The merge and center does that. I'm going to create the following starting in cell A3 right here. And so I'm going to go expense, parking, lunch, gas, total. And apparently up here I am going to be doing Monday 12.50, 7.25, 16.91. Okay. We are going to select Autofill handle in cell B3 and drag the right to fill to Thursday. So if I come down to B3 right here and I click this autofill and I drag it across like this, at the very corner I've filled to Thursday. Highlight range A3 to E7. So A3, I'm left clicked and I'm going to come all the way down to E7 and expand the border from up here. So if I come right here and I want to select all borders. So let's go ahead and put all borders around it like that, make a little chart like that. Highlight B4 to B7. So here's B4 to B7. And what we want to do is we want to change what this is. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. You could just come right here and we want to set currency. So I'm going to click currency. There's other things you can do with this, percentage, whatever, but we wanted currency. Okay. For number format on the home tab. In cell B7, which is right here, we want to enter a formula. Okay. And so what I could do is I could start with the equal sign. You always got to start with that. And my numbers here were 12.50, and I'm going to hit the plus sign. 7.25. I'm going to hit the plus sign. 16.91, and then that gives me the total of all these right here. Okay. Now that is okay. But if I change this to $8. Well, then I would have to do my calculation differently right here. Okay, I'm going to just undo. I'm back to 7.25. Another thing that we could do right here is we could, instead of this formula here, we could come out of here and we could go equals, and we could do B4. I'm going to click this, and I'm going to do plus, and I'm going to click the second one, and I'm going to do plus, and I'm going to do this one right here. B4 plus B5 plus B6, enter. And notice, it's still 36.66. If I came up here and I change this to 8 and hit enter, notice it changed. It automatically updates the value of all these. Okay, so that's another way to do that. Okay, we can. I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to delete this. Another way to do it in this B cell would be to click the sum button from the home tab. So if we had the home tab, I would be looking for the sum. A lot of times, what I like to do, the ones that I've got memorized, I would just come here and I would hit equals and I would type sum and I'd put a parenthesis, and then I could just left click and drag all these 3 right here and then do the other parenthesis, and then it sums it like that. Okay. Finding the sum up here is a little bit different. You can come to formulas right here, and there's math functions, and here's auto sum is what we could do it that way. So if I came right here and I deleted and I clicked auto sum, and it is pretty smart that it recognizes the numbers up above that, and I could hit enter. You notice that that's the same formula that I entered. I could click here and it shows it. So there's different ways to get the sum of these right here. And remember what that does, if I change this to $9, it automatically updates everything. Okay, so there's different ways to put the sum in there. It says starting in cell C4, enter expense data for the rest of the week. So I don't know, we're just going to make some numbers up here. 12, 13. Lunch was pretty random here. And gas was pretty expensive, I guess, there. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to use autofill to copy cell B7 to the other cell. So what I could do is I could just take this little dot right here and I could copy it across there like that. And notice that it summed 23 plus 11 plus 6. It automatically does all this, so that's kind of nice. You could also, if you wanted to do that, a different way, you could just take this and you could hit Control C to copy, and you could put it there and hit enter, and it did the same thing, okay? Or you can just drag it like this, and then there it goes. It is doing 13 plus 6 plus 6 is $25, okay? Notice that these are not currency, so if I highlighted this again and I went to home, I could then come back to that currency right there, and I could change everything to currency. So this is part of the assignment where you're going to create a little spreadsheet and do a summation of this, okay? This is double click D and E on the header, because notice how this is kind of running. So if I double click between D and E right here, it just spaces it out. I guess I could do it right here, and this is automatically getting it to fit, okay? Create a heading F4, F3, I guess it is right here, F3, called total, okay? And then use the sum function to calculate the individual totals. So my individual totals of how much I spent on parking the whole time right here. If I went into formulas, let's see if it will auto sum, and it's pretty smart. It took everything to the left of this, and if I hit enter, it looks like I spent $48.50 this week on that. If I wanted to auto fill it down, I could come down like that, and that's how much I spent on each of the items and how much I spent on total. Let's go ahead and take this, come back to home, and we'll put the borders around it, okay? Create a heading in G3 called average. So this is average, okay? Select G4 and expand the auto sum function and select the average function to calculate the expenses. So if I could type average, or I could come right here again, and I could do average. And notice it kind of averaging here, but I don't want to average my total here. I only want the average of, you know, the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I would come up in here, and instead of going all the way to F4, I would probably stop at E4, okay? E4. So it looks like I spent about $12.13 each day. There's 12, 11, 12, 13, okay? So that's my average. I can certainly copy that down into these here, and that tells me how much I spent on lunch, gas, and my total each day. I just come right here again, home, and I'll create a little, and I'll put borders around it, okay? Parking is reimbursed at 90%, food at 50%, and gas. Add a column H3, and it is going to be percent reimbursed, right? Reimbursed. Well, it's too long, so let me double click right here, and that is going to, oh, that's a number, we want percent. Let's back that up again, percent reimbursed, okay? And then we've done that. So what is it reimbursed? Well, it looks like parking is at 0.9 and 0.5 and 0.75. So percent reimbursed looks like it has something to do with how much the company is going to get back, all right? So we then want to create a formula for total, or this is the percent reimbursed times the payback. So this column right here, it doesn't really, I don't know what says it, but this is like my cost. Okay, so my cost is going to be, we're going to do a formula. I'm going to hit equal, and we're going to click this 0.9, and I'm going to hit shift above the 8 times the total that I spent for parking right there. So I'm going to do that and hit enter. So it looks like I multiplied 0.9 times 48 and 50. It looks like or the cost there would have been 43.55 that would get reimbursed. So I guess my cost would be the subtraction of the two. But here we go. We can take this and we can copy this down, and it looks like multiplying the percent reimbursed by how much the total, that's kind of what that is doing there. And so you'll be doing things similar to this as well. I'm going to come here and I'll make this the chart again. Okay, the next we want to do a chart right here. So it says we want to chart all these things here. So we're going to chart our expenses for all these items right here. We'll do total, and we'll do all the way through Thursday like this. So we're going to highlight that. I just left click. I'm then going to go to insert, and I'm going to do a recommended chart. And we've got some different charts like this, but maybe like this one looks pretty good right here. And let's click OK, and there it goes. I can be sure to grab it right here, and it pulls in this chart. And it looks like on Monday I spent this much on parking, and then on Tuesday I spent a little more, a little bit less. So it kind of breaks it down into parking, into lunch, how much you spent, gas, and total. So that's a quick way to do a chart title. There's a variety of different types of charts that you could put in there. I'll just go and do it one more time like this, and I could go to insert and recommended charts, but you could see all charts. There's XY scatters like this, and area bar charts, and you could pick a chart that makes your data presentation look good. At this point, you would then go to File, and you would go ahead and save this as the workbook, the lecture worksheet, into week 2, and then you could put this assignment into Dropbox.